Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Aftermath. I didn't even know we didn't plan this at all, but of course, one of the episodes in October is a spooky one.
Has to be. That's
Man,
I feel like all we've been doing lately is spooky ones. Aliens, and this one.
yeah,
It's not
one
all we've been doing, like mostly.
we watched The Thing by John Carpenter.
Oh, yes.
I'd never even heard of
And-
this movie before.
until Dylan enlightened me once upon a time a few years back. I never heard of it either. And man, you want to talk about nightmare fuel?
Oh, yes.
Wow.
Oh, pretty solid. It was a nice, spoopy
practical
thriller,
effects.
suspenseful thriller, and it didn't have as many easy complaints as a lot of other suspenseful thriller
Yeah.
movies I have.
It
But
is
before-
I enjoyed it.
practical effects masterpiece.
Yeah.
They did great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
We're starting right off the bat with how just
yeah. Yeah, well,
gross and unsettling it is.
yeah, I ain't got anything else to talk about this week. Oh, I've been big chilling. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
kinda-
I have some story time
like,
if you guys are gonna indulge me in this.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
It's been all in all a really great week for me.
mm-hmm.
I got to spend time with someone very special, and I've gotten a lot of extra sleep, and things have just been going okay, even though work's kind of been hectic. It just has been a pretty good week all around, and I've been trying to enjoy every minute of it. And there's just days like today that come around that just make you realize like how great of a week you're having until just like these days like this just come around to just like skirt, like
Yeah.
kind of bring things to a screeching halt some days.
Yeah.
And between certain people that I work with, copping an attitude when they have no right to.
Oh, boy.
And then the real story that I wanted to get to was I had this lady that drove up, and she had I can only describe it to you as like when she drove up and she held her phone out and was like, I want to reload $5. And at the place that I work at, that's not unheard of. Adding money onto like a digital gift card or something.
Mm-hmm.
And so I proceed to add $5 onto it and then take it off of this other card that she has.
That was your first mistake.
And you're telling me, man. I proceed to give her the receipt and the other card and tell her what just occurred. And she's like, what did you do? And then I was like,
I mean, what did I do? Damn.
I put the $5 that you requested on the digital card on your phone and took it off the other one that you had that you just gave me. And she's like, no, I wanted to take money from this and then put it on to here. and then of course starts to like scoff and then kind of chuckle at me as if I'm the idiot that did something wrong. And I was like, I'm normally really level-headed and really cool in these situations and don't let it get the best of me. But no lie, I dead ass looked at her in the face and was like, I just did what you told me to do. You held up the phone and was like, I want to add $5. So I proceeded to add $5 onto that card. And so now we're in this predicament now where you're trying to make me feel like I'm the idiot when you did everything wrong.
Yeah.
And so it's been a whole lot of, that was an interesting whole thing that happened today. I was like, it just made me realize like some people and their perception on certain situations and all that kind of stuff. But anyways,
People are stupid.
yeah. Is there anything?
The people
happened-
can't communicate, I think, is the issue.
Oh, of
They
course.
don't want to say what they want. They just assume everybody knows what they're talking about.
Yeah. Read my mind and tell me what I want.
No, it's been
You guys-
been boring. I haven't been doing anything. I'm still
Yeah.
waiting to hear back from department supervisors and stuff. So I'm kind of just avoiding scheduling work at the moment
Yeah.
until I get word back. Because, why schedule work for $16 an hour whenever if you hear back from them in time, you could be making 20-something an hour.
Imagine that.
I'd rather not make less money if I can hear back from them, make them more money.
Yeah, exactly.
But I need to make some money no matter what, so I might just end up scheduling the work anyway and have to figure it out.
Yeah.
So it's just been me. I've been off for more days than I should. Just chilling out, waiting.
Yeah.
So
Have a nice, I would say vacation, but again, that's not really what.
no, because the vacation I did have got freaking
Yeah.
messed up because I had to pay someone else too much money, so I couldn't afford my flight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I did recently try to purchase a face mask from a content creator, though.
Oh, really?
Dylan, yeah,
Yeah.
I already told Ian, so I'm gonna tell you this one, Dylan. I tried purchasing a face mask from a content creator that I liked. I thought it was cool. It was something a little bit different than I see around here. And if I have to wear masks all the time, I may as well buy one that I like.
Mm-hmm.
And it was this content creator on YouTube is he's based out of Scotland. So the price on the website for the thing that he was selling, because he sells it all out of his house basically,
Yeah.
was in pounds, which isn't really shocking. So it was £7 for the mask. Now I kind of did some misinterpretation for the calculating, and I was like, "Oh, it's that $5, $6, $7, something like that." I knew it was close to American dollars.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was thinking of Canadian dollars though.
Yeah.
But I knew it was close, so I was like, "Oh, like $7." So it's also coming from Scotland, so like a $5 shipping. Not really surprised. It's coming from Scotland. I've done worse. I've paid worse for shipping way closer.
Yes.
So I was like, whatever.
Yes.
And it also said that it could take like 7 business days or something like that. Which again, it's coming overseas. So that's fine.
Understandable.
And then it was like, "Do you want a tip?" And I was like, "Heck yeah, I like this content creator." So I tipped like £1 5 cents, like 15%. And I was like, "Okay, cool."
Mm-hmm.
After everything was said and done, it was like 12 or 13 pounds. I was like, it's a bit more than I wanted for just a face mask, but like whatever.
Yeah.
So I forgot that pounds are actually the only currency that are worth more than the American dollar, and I actually ended up paying $17 for this face mask.
Oh.
I paid nearly $20 for one face mask to be shipped from Scotland. And I was like, awesome. It was like neat. I was like, well, it'd be like that, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm excited now, I guess. Anyway,
Be like that sometimes.
right? I might not wear it often, but I might wear it even though I don't have to now. Just
Yeah. Just
they could be like, "Masks are stupid, burn them all," and I'll probably still wear this thing now because like, I paid $17 for it. Like
I
may as
had
well.
someone tell me that like there's a good likelihood we'll be wearing masks until like middle to end of next year, and I was like,
I mean,
it's
I won't.
understandable.
I won't at all unless there's something that says like, "We'll kick you out if you don't wear your mask." I'll put my mask on. That is it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I don't care. I mean, but
Yeah.
like, it also depends on like the air quality though. If I feel like if it feels dusty, I might put it on because it can actually help. I wore whenever I was actually in China for a while. I wore masks just depending on the air quality of the day because it helped it breathe easier. So I mean, I don't know, but
What you got going on, Dylan?
Oh, it's
hey, yeah, you
what you-
got a
what you
new
doing over
job
there?
yet? Got him, Cletus.
no.
Shoot him, Cletus. Shoot him.
You shot him down.
Yeah.
You've killed
Dang.
me.
Rest in peace.
Nothing interesting has happened this past week you want to bring to the lovely listeners?
Nah.
Anything?
Yeah.
Just the usual.
Yeah.
Straight vibing.
Yeah.
Straight vibing.
We had for like a hot minute another, like, again, as we've talked about before, we live in Louisiana, the armpit of America, as we've said before. And we had another hurricane warning, which is probably number 17 of 2020.
I think it was number
Mhm.
4.
It's something crazy, but this is the one that actually kind of like started blowing some stuff around in our neck of the woods.
We can call it that, but also I was driving in the middle of it, so I guess.
Again,
that's a
it's gonna
Louisiana thing.
Yeah, exactly. Not a whole lot will, I guess.
And
scare
people
us.
want, like, if I like talk to people about like why we just chill around during hurricanes, and I'm like, well, because here's the thing, with the Gulf is an excellent breeding ground for a powerful hurricane.
Of course.
Mhm.
So that's why they're always every hurricane that is coming towards Louisiana will always be minimum. Often it's a Category 5 while it's in the Gulf, but it's a minimum of a Category 4 in the Gulf. Okay. Even if it's close to us in the Gulf of Mexico, it is still a Category 4 or 5. And then everyone freaks out, Category 5 going to make landfall in like a week. But then the problem is what they don't tell you is that it makes landfall as a Category 1 or 2 and then does nothing, right?
Yeah.
That happens every single time that people say Category 5, going to be bad. And all the people in Louisiana are like, okay, cool, I'm throwing my hurricane party then, right?
Yeah, exactly.
We have hurricane parties, and I went to one in the middle of the hurricane.
There's only certain instances where like things have gone awry. Obviously, the one that we always talk about, like the few bad ones, is like other things happened,
Yeah, the
which
freaking
then caused hysteria.
Yeah,
Mhm.
the people didn't do their job, and the levees
Yes.
broke in Katrina, and just literally just basically annihilated,
Wiped out a whole city.
wiped New Orleans off the map pretty much
For a hot minute.
when the levees broke in New Orleans. But
Yeah.
um,
But that's just case in point, right
and then
there.
like
where
yeah,
it's
and then
like,
Gustav I think made a mess too. But like
but
we
again, like I
haven't
said,
had any like
that's what I'm saying. So for us, like it's again,
I've lived through at least 37 hurricanes in my life, and only 2 of them are names that I remember.
yeah.
And even then, one of them I don't remember being that bad. I just remember being bad for some people, but not me.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
damn.
yeah, I was like, I remember it being bad for people like 2 cities over, but I don't know. I was kind of
It's
chilling
not
outside.
my problem.
Yeah, I was just chilling outside, playing with the wind or whatever. Yeah. So
Yeah. But anyways, so that was the only thing is over this past weekend we had a
hurricane party.
we had a little. I just kind of chilled out at the house. I for the first time in what has felt like forever.
Several
I had-
forevers.
I had
Forever too.
I had a Saturday off, and boy howdy did I enjoy every minute of it.
Neat.
You want to know what I did?
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Damn straight.
After like 6 to 9 months worth of working what feels like every single day
Mm-hmm.
and not having like a moment to just not do anything and not feel guilty about it. That was the first day that I laid in bed and did absolutely nothing. And I
Yep.
enjoyed every gosh darn minute of it.
I
Yeah.
could use some of that right now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And again, because of the hurricane, quote unquote, kind of came through, it kind of messed up my plans for Sunday morning. So those got like postponed / canceled. So I got to sleep in Sunday. So it was just like, it was like everything was lining up just right.
Yeah.
Where I was like, I got a whole day off. The morning came around and was like, you get some more time off to kind of just rest. And I was like, oh, this is what I've been waiting for. I'm going to shed one tear of joy and just revel in it before my week starts back up again.
Yeah.
And of course, as I had said, I start back up this Monday morning and just got a huge slap in the face. I'm just like,
Like, oh man,
nice.
sure didn't miss this.
No, definitely didn't miss
know.
this. So, but yeah, it's been
Fucking
pretty good.
tidy.
Tidy.
What does that mean?
There are some people who are gonna. There are a few people who are gonna pick up the 2 words we just said and be like, "Did they just make a reference?" Yes, we did make that. We did make that reference. And we're not gonna tell anybody.
No.
All right, not even me. I don't even know what the hell's going on here.
Yeah,
you'll know.
You'll figure it out eventually. It's fine. So,
Yeah. So, anyways, to get back kind of onto the topic that we started off this whole
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it was like a
Aliens.
couple seconds of the thing, and then us.
yeah,
We're the
little,
thing now.
Little banter.
Oh yeah, I forgot that was.
This
the name
is
of the
our
movie.
show.
You said a couple
Hey.
seconds of the thing, and I was like, "Just say the movie's name." Lol. That is the movie's name. Yep.
Yep.
So
So
we're
again,
doing this too late again.
yeah. Sorry.
But my first note, we're just gonna hop right into that one. Is
Yeah.
just the word dogs.
Dogs.
Oh yeah. Dogs.
That's it. I was like, I'm writing it down now. Dogs, they're the big bad of this movie, aren't they?
Mhm.
Technically, not wrong.
No.
Yeah.
Technically not wrong.
That is
so,
not a 100% false statement.
That is not. So Dylan, describe the movie in 3 words.
Horrifying.
I already
It's
have
one
one.
word, Ian.
I would.
We'll get to that
hey,
one later.
That's the
jump in the gun.
The first of 3. Horrifying.
Let's see.
Alien.
I know one of my words, and you know it too, Dylan. So you have to pick a different word than that one.
Fire.
Is that the?
No.
Thing.
Actually, I do like that one. I like that one a lot. Mine was going to be undulating alien tentacles.
Oh, I don't
Because
like that at
the
all.
amount of times in this movie I said the word undulating.
It's undulating.
Yeah, I kept leaning over and be like, Dylan. He would be like, shut up. And I'd be like, it's undulating. And he'd be like, shut up. And like, it would just be like making the, like, you know, the like slurpy slurp noise when it's like moving around something. And I'm like,
thing would do.
and I'm like, it's undulating, Dylan. And I was, you could tell I've been listening to H.P. Lovecraft as an audiobook because I'm saying words like undulating.
Yes, you've been communing with the old gods.
Yeah,
as of late.
exactly. Now describe it in one word. Mine, probably still undulating. So what's your
Thing.
That works. That counts, I guess. I don't like it, but it counts.
Well, you fucking asked.
Well, yeah, but
I'm always going to go for the most obvious one.
boring.
For the low blow all the time. Hold on, let's see.
So
Undulating, having a.
I was about to say, actually, before you say this, I actually
rising.
said the word so much that I Googled it, and it's something smoothly moving in a back and forth motion. Or
You see, we had the whole 3-word problem before because we were watching movies with just 3-word titles.
3-word titles, yeah.
Now, out of spite, I could have just said the thing or the thing.
The thing.
Yeah. No, I get it. I was just I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. You know,
Carpenter's the thing.
You had like two good episodes where you were hitting with like bangers, and that one I was like, that was freaking weak
Well,
sauce.
that's what you get for holding me to any expectations whatsoever, fucker.
Somehow fell below my already on the floor expectation. I'm joking. My next note. I was talking about the dogs, and I was like, so the only thing so I went to this movie. I'd never heard of the movie before in my life.
Full body creeps.
Didn't know the movie existed. Never heard of it. And then Dylan was like, "Oh man, I'm single-handedly afraid of dogs after this movie."
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, "Oh man."
I'm serious when I say
I know that you like wanted
for a week.
Yeah, I know that you like wanted to tell me that. That's also like for me, it felt like a huge spoiler because I was like, "Man, now I don't trust the dogs." Like, man.
It also
to be fair, the movie really gears you up to not trust the dog. So it's as at the beginning of the movie, there's a guy with stormtrooper level aim. Come on, man, hit a damn shot, Jesus! But missing the dog, throwing a grenade, and then butterfingering a grenade behind his head and blowing his friend up. Congrats, nerd. Yeah. So like we know that the dog's a problem, right? Which at the end of the movie, I think it's really cool how the movie begins now, though, because it's like those people had the same problem at their camp that we had here. That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Still, so
like with a second, when you've seen the movie once, watching it a second time is fucking like nerve wracking.
Yeah. So, my next note was whenever they locked the dog in the cage, and I was like, this is it, huh? Are they all demon dogs? It's not just one demon dog, there's multiple demon dogs. Or is this one? And I said, quote, is this one the king alien demon dog? And then he proceeds to have undulating spines just freaking shoot out of his back. And I was like,
face peels off like a fucking banana. The skull falls out.
Spider legs come out. And I'm like, this was the first time in the movie I said, Dylan, it's undulating.
Man, dude,
and he proceeds to just murder things. So, and there it is. That was the beginning of the movie.
Man, it is just like it's hard to describe. It is a whole new level of unsettling.
Mm-hmm.
The practical effects that go into the puppetry or whatever they used to make those.
I think that the practical effects that was used on that like two-faced burned body or whatever was really interesting.
Yeah,
I think it was really good. I couldn't help but like look at if that was like a real thing, like I respond to an emergency, I'd be like I wouldn't be able to help. It's one of those things where like I see a lot of nasty stuff in my profession, but there's that one thing every once in a while that I'm like that's nasty, but I want to remember what it looks like because that's unique as well.
That's a story that I'm looking at right now.
Exactly, it's like that's unique.
It's not a normal occurrence.
Yeah, and so it's like that's how I feel at that one. Like it was such good effects that I was triggering that part of like my like I don't know my instincts or whatever. Where I was like every time it's on screen, I don't want to look at anything else because like that's just it's well done.
Yeah.
So. One thing I can say from like a filmmaking perspective is you'd be surprised how much you can do with limited setting and limited cast. Mm-hmm. The cast is
we said that about the first one we did, The Breakfast Club.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Where
there were a total of 3 places in that movie with like 6 people, and it was still one of the greatest movies of all time.
You have a few sweeping shots of open snow. You have a few shots of the camp itself. Then you have some interiors and possibly some exteriors.
You got homie shack, and then you got
but
main base, and
like a lot of that
tool shed.
A lot of that's also like kind of like reused space. There's probably more setting in this movie than like The Breakfast Club, for instance. They didn't have a lot at all, if any, besides one location. But the big thing is the cast. You can do a lot with very little.
Yeah,
especially when you have like people like Kurt Russell and other people that are like the leading crew of
Kurt Russell is the fucking coolest.
He's like badass number 1 in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
At first you can tell he just kind of like seems cool, but then by the time like
he's just a fucking drunkard.
Yeah,
but I loved it. I think another thing I said multiple times in the movie is alcoholic character does an alcoholic.
But fucking Fuchs walks up to him like, man, I gotta talk to you. This is really important. It's like, man, I just want to go over to my shack and get drunk.
I freaking love it, dude, bro.
We're in Antarctica. It's cold.
I'm not feeling it. I don't want to be here. You don't want to be here. We are both in an Antarctic city town here. Okay,
yeah,
so
research village.
Yeah, research village. That was what I called it because they were like, he was like, it's like a research. What'd you call it initially? A research camp or something like that. And I was like, they have multiple flamethrowers. This is a research village. Okay, this isn't it. Their main export is flamethrowers and apparently jet fuel.
What quantifies a
pitchforks
fucking
and
village?
torches?
Having main exports.
That's a village.
No. Having exports. The exports being multiple flamethrowers, jet fuel, and torches. Oh yeah, don't worry. We've got professional grade sparklers, aka flares. Okay, they have exports. Therefore, village. So, yeah.
I was gonna say they become a village when they can actually self-sustain as their own line of defense.
Yeah. Well, they can't do that shit. That's for sure. They definitely can't do that.
That didn't last long at all.
I mean,
in their defense, they're also against a freaking alien.
Well, I was just thinking of self-sustaining. They can't. You can grow potatoes in a lot, but I don't think you can grow potatoes in Antarctica.
Yeah.
Still, so
bet right now.
Bet I'll get you them Arctic potatoes right now.
Our family potatoes will grow anywhere.
Right. I had the heartiest family line of potatoes. I have potatoes in my genes.
Yes,
100%. I'm actually 3% tater
in my DNA, not my actual blue jeans.
No, in my genes, in my jants.
Yeah, no,
right now. But yeah, the only thing I like kind of didn't like was the ending.
Oh, really?
Even though I like the ending, I thought it was really well done.
I was gonna say you like it because it's an unconventional ending to some degree.
I like it. I think it was a well done ending in every like aspect of it. It's one of those things where it's like, this is the happiest ending you can get in a situation like this. Like,
yeah, after everyone except
like,
how many was the original crew?
Oh, I don't know, like 12?
6.
I think
8.
10.
I was like 10. Yeah, it was quite a few people.
Okay.
A bunch of them died pretty quick. So I mean, there's that. So
man,
but so it's like I liked the ending, but the only thing I didn't like, and maybe this is just me being like evil or something, I didn't like that you don't get that closure of like, did they decide to kill each other off? Because like it's heavily implied that they're like, we're both gonna die here. But the problem is, if they just let starvation or the frost kill them, then guess what? If they're infected, that's the exact thing they didn't want to happen. Yep. I just want them to. I want it to end with them both like holding one of those like sticks of dynamite, like, well, I guess this is it then, buddy. And then like that was gonna be the end. Like I guess I wanted more closure than they kind of gave you. But otherwise, I thought the ending was, it's pretty solid. I think it was a good, again, as happy as you can get of an ending for something like this. And I love those kind of endings,
Yeah.
It also really kind of paints a picture for like something we don't understand about like the Antarctic. Not a lot of people go out there.
It's cold.
Not a lot of people know. I mean, people know a lot about it now, but I mean, at the point in time, it's like,
it is the only natural no man's land I can think of.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's hard to do anything out there. It's kind of crazy to think about. It's like,
I was already
alien specimen that's just blasting through bodies like it's nothing.
I was already distrusting of this movie from the beginning though, because I recently got on Audible.com the
not a sponsor.
Shut up! All right, I'm trying to. A man can hope.
Not brought to you by Audible.com.
Yeah, do not use the promo code. I'm joking. But hey, Audible, reach out to me. So I definitely got, with my like subscription that I had like a credit to get a book, which I paid like $15 for the credit, and I got a book that was definitely more than $15 for that credit. And it was the entire works of H.P. Lovecraft.
Damn.
And an audiobook, which is 53 hours long. I am currently like 2 hours into it, and I'm doing what I got.
Barely scratching the surface.
Yeah, exactly. I don't remember the exact name, but I'm currently doing, is it Above or Under the Mountains of Madness? Is what it is. And I was already distrusting of the Antarctic mountains, because I was like, yes, the Mountains of Madness. Yes, I am currently hearing him speak of Shoggoths, and he hasn't mentioned Yog-Sothoth yet. Sorry, I don't know about that, but
you'll get there.
Don't worry, it's coming. Yeah, and like I was so immediately going into this movie, I was like, it's cold. Don't like that. don't like that.
It's cold. Mountains? No.
Yeah, you right there. You can call me out.
No thanks.
Yep. If there's cold mountains, I don't want to be there.
Nope. Don't want that.
There's an elder god about.
Right. I'm not saying, all right, that I believe that Yog Sothoth or Cthulhu are coming after me. I'm just saying that if there's a chance, I don't want to be there.
Yeah.
All right.
The thing that this movie really nails for me is the tension.
Yes.
I like how in these movies
how the thing works.
There's always exactly. I like how in these movies there's always that one dude. Like in the last movie, there was that one guy with the gun who just like was like, "Oh, so we're gonna die," and everyone kept slapping him, telling him to shut up. And aliens, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then in this movie, there was that one dude who I mentioned in the movie. I was like, I like how every time something goes down, he freaks out and then gets like thrown into something or punched in the face.
Windows.
I said, and Windows.
That's why his name is Windows.
Yeah, he has like a head injury, and then he gets like something blows up, and then he gets a scratch on his face, and then he punches something to get a gun out, and everyone's like pointing gun. He's always like the center of problems to the point where toward the end of the movie, I told Dylan he looks like a literal trash can right now. This dude's got mud and blood on his face, a bandage, like 3 different cuts, and he's just like, oh God,
great.
Which is truly what we would all be in this situation. But I just love that there's always that character in the movie.
Wait, what were you talking about, Dylan? You said it nails
the tension between characters.
Yeah,
palpable.
Oh
even. Man, like as soon as you figure out how this thing fucking works, every scene has just an air of tension.
Everyone's looking at each other like, "Who are you?"
The trust goes.
You got tentacles? Are you undulating right now?
The fuck are you?
The trust is fleeting when that second happens, where it's like already everyone was kind of scared, and then the second they can kind of find out and realize what's going on, all of a sudden it's like you can feel that everyone's
trust
like
is gone,
evaporated. Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy.
It's just a slow deconstruction.
Gosh, and then of course the scene which makes me feel so unsettled is whenever they're all tied up to the couch and chairs.
Oh yeah,
I was about to say that scene too.
And they're trying to figure out who is infected by burning the blood. And there's a point where they catch one of them. I can't remember what the character's name was.
Palmer.
And he just starts like shaking violently.
Undulating even.
Yeah, some would say undulating.
There it is again. There it is. See, this is why I said it so many times in this movie.
It cuts away from him to other stuff. And then when it cuts back to him, his like face is melting off.
Distorted.
And his eyes are like bulging out of his head or whatever. And it's like, I remember vividly when I watched the movie for the first time, I was like, oh dear God. Again, like there's other points in the movie that are terrifying, but there's something about this one where he's trapped.
It's the first time that you see them like keep going and they don't just burn them, right? Every time you see it, it starts doing things and it like pans away. But in this one, it's like, no, everyone's tied together with this guy. That guy's flamethrower is not working. Let's watch what happens.
Yes, exactly.
This is a cage match. Let's watch him kill guys. And then his face rips open and he bites the other dude's head. That was fire.
Even I think even before that, they had the guy that he tries to get defibrillated and his
chest opens
that was
up
after that, and my God, that was so funny.
It's the best.
God, I was like, oh, clear. And I made the joke. I was like, you could tell this is old because we don't use paddles anymore. We just use stickers that shock them now. I wish that I could use paddles. And then he's like,
and then his chest proceeds to open up.
Then he does the little gel thing. He shakes them together and he says, clear. And then while he goes to push down, the guy's stomach opens up, gets both his arms, and just rips his arms off. And I was like,
oh yeah, by the way, his chest has teeth.
And then I was like, clear.
I said clear.
So of course I was thinking to myself, man, I wish I could use paddles. He gets his arms ripped off, and I was like, I'm pretty glad that I don't have to use paddles anymore. Anterior, posterior, and then I just kind of hands off that crap. I don't even. I got a device now. I don't even do chest compressions anymore, man. I put that device on. If an alien eats that device, guess what? My scene's not safe. I'm out. I'm out, dude.
But see ya.
Right,
enough for that.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I will do CPR on you to save your life. But if there's an alien in you ripping things apart, I'm not paying enough for that.
If your chest cavity opens up and proceeds to have teeth inside of it and eat my equipment,
I learned a lot of things in anatomy, but I did not learn.
I'm so gone.
Right? Yeah, I learned a lot of things in anatomy, but I didn't learn what to do in that situation.
No, definitely not.
Yeah. But the scene that got me, that for all intents and purposes shouldn't have gotten me, was like whenever he's testing the blood and everyone's blood's fake, you can tell the buildup makes it obvious that one of the bloods is going to succeed. One of the little thingies is going to succeed.
Obviously.
And you don't really know how it's going to or what it's going to do. And I guess that's why I kept like roasting it because I was like, dude, what you even doing? Like, you know, the blood's not going to.
It's not going to do anything.
Yeah, I was like, dude, it's just blood. Like, you, like I know.
I was
because I was roasting
so hard
it.
not to just fucking bust out laughing.
I was roasting it the whole time next to you. And I knew that, again, something was going to happen. But I was also like, but I don't.
This motherfucker doesn't even know.
I get like, what you're saying. Where like if you chop their arm off, like the arm's gonna try and live because you've seen that happen. But like what I don't see is how the blood's gonna do it. It is tissue. I get the thought process.
Yeah.
But from what we've seen, that doesn't seem like it should apply here.
Yeah.
And also like he just keeps on doing it. I'm like, oh, a little squeak, little squeak and sizzle on each one. And I was like, ain't nothing. What you think is gonna happen is blood. But again, after like he keeps doing it, you're like, you know it's gonna succeed,
especially
because you don't know how. So then he touches it, and then like
it screams,
and then a little nuclear explosion happens, and then like a little thing, like a little polyp sticks up in his back, and you're like, oh dang it,
like,
got me. But then, of course, whenever it does that, it screams. That little polyp comes up, and that's whenever the dude's face is melting off.
Because it's like, oh shit, they found me out.
The aliens, they're shaking like, oh man, it's gonna work. They're on to me, and then of course it screams. He looks over, and his face is melting. Like, gotcha, bitch.
But the thing is,
it was such well done.
I think why the scene goes so well is because they have already established that the sheriff guy, or I call him that. He's like the blonde hair. The pilot guy or whatever, or at the beginning of the movie they said
McCready?
I think so. He's like
Kurt Russell, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
Hold on. The guy, what is the guy with the skates come in? He comes in and says, "Oh, it's nice that."
Knowles.
Yeah. Oh, what did he say? Got to use his cap gun.
Yeah.
Okay. What is the name?
Yeah, it was Palmer that said. I was wondering.
El Capitan got to use his pop gun. And I was like, Anyway, so that's the guy I'm talking about here. Everyone kind of has blamed him at this point. There's one or two people that are to blame, and so you have your eye on them. And of course, the Kurt Russell's character even says like, just to really like hit this home, I'm gonna do you last because I'm almost certain that you are the one. And so as the audience, you're like, I'm with him. I feel him, and I'm with him. And so it kind of they deliberately steer you the wrong way, so that whenever they're like, it's happening right now. Exactly. They're like, oh shit, there's another one. It's like So that's the kind of thing that, and of course it's a different guy completely, and then it kind of goes sideways, but it just there's a lot of tension, like you said, and emotion. It all feels very
the beginning of the
real.
movie, which I skipped over this note, but in the beginning of the movie, the guys like talk about the dog, and like I get why the guy likes his dogs. I get the dog guy's been through a lot, but also what I don't get is why a dog guy is like, I've seen a dog turn into a demon alien beast and murder other dogs, and that dog was my dog, and we're just gonna sit here and be like, oh no, this dog's totally fine. And he's like, and then the doctor's asking him like, how long were you with the dog? How long? What's going on? Just explode. And the guy's like, like nothing average. And he says, yeah, nothing. And I typed in nothing at all. He doomed them all to death by a dog early in the movie. And again, not entirely wrong.
Yeah.
This dude's like, no man, the dog's fine, like I swear. And of course it definitely wasn't fine at all.
No.
But don't worry, because the doctor who was crazy, and so the doctor was infected the entire time, right?
Doctor.
The doctor, the one that they got the axe, killed the dog, broke the plane, like the doctor who first caught on. Yeah, he was infected the entire time, right? Or was it just toward the end that he got infected?
It was toward the end.
Okay, that's what I thought.
He was one of the only. He was the first guy to figure out how this thing worked.
Yeah, no, he knew how it worked and all that, but I was just making sure that he was infected the entire time because he was he figured out how it worked and he was like, well, time to break the radios as if they're working anyway. Kill the dogs. He sat down and they said like they hadn't heard from him in a couple of days, and I imagine he was in his office like, Well, all right, time to break the radios, kill the dogs, destroy the helicopter, and I guess I should probably start
any form of escape whatsoever.
Right, I should probably light some shit on fire too while I'm here. Like, I just like how this dude was just
so much
getting to work.
And then of course everyone locks him in and on his own. He's like, well, I guess I'm not infected.
One of my favorite scenes is whenever they go to check on him. And he's
just a noose.
Yeah, he's sitting at the fucking table like drinking or eating. Yeah. And he turns to the window after they ask him how he's doing. He's like, I'm feeling much better now. I'd like to go back inside.
Yeah, right.
After he's tied a noose knot. Just
right
hanging
next
it from the ceiling.
Just chilling there.
Just in case.
Yeah, right.
It's a little bit of like subtle storytelling.
Yeah.
The ever looming
Yeah, this what gets me about this movie is the fear of something vaguely human-shaped that isn't human.
Yeah.
Shit like that gets me.
Abdominal cavity can open up and bite your arms off. Clear, lol.
It's like the imposter.
Mm-hmm. That
looks
haunts
normal.
me.
Mm. Looks normal, is one of us,
but is somehow not.
But
something's amiss, and I can't tell what.
And when his head cracks open and eats you whole, that's just.
Don't worry. From now on, we'll have mandatory blood testing at the door at the house. It's fine.
Yeah, right.
I've got my wire preheated every day.
See, it's like zombies, but worse. Zombies are my number one fear because they used to be human, but now are not and want to eat you.
Exactly.
I hate that.
Yeah.
I think that this is scarier than zombies.
It is. It's much worse.
Because like I feel like if it's a zombie, I'm like, brainless guy.
Okay, that's just a zombie.
Brainless dead guy wants to eat my brains.
Yeah,
blam. This is like, malignant thing wants to hide from me and kill me, and it's smart. Don't like that.
You know what's wrong with a zombie.
Yeah.
You can't tell who or what the thing is going to be.
Yeah, so I'm like, I don't think zombies are that spooky. I mean, that would suck. Like that's a real pandemic right there.
Yeah.
Zombies going around, but like. This is still spookier, It's like, oh no, am I trapped with them or are they trapped with me? I like how every time you test someone's blood, they're all there holding their breath. Like, am I infected? Yeah. Like, I feel like at this point, if you're infected by the alien, that means that you are the alien and and therefore, if you don't need to hold your breath when they're testing your blood, you're innocent. But it's still a stressful thing that everyone's doing it anyway.
Another good kind of funny scene I like is after he tests Knowles' blood, and he comes up. Like, okay, he like stares for a minute, and then it's like a snap cut to Knowles holding the flamethrower while McCready tests
he's
someone
instantly
else.
trusted.
Yeah, I was like, I like how it was one of the black guys that they ended up doing it with. But yeah, he tested his blood, and he was sitting there, and he was like, great. Now, and he like looks over the guy that everyone believes is infected. He looks over to him. He's like, "Can you guys get me off of the couch now?" Yeah. And then again, the next cut, he's got a flamethrower too, and he's just sitting over there like, "All right, we're gonna test him." And he tests negative, and that guy's like, "Cool. Well, whenever it's convenient for you guys, I would like to no longer be tied to the couch." Yeah. I was like, "Yep, that's it. There it is." Everyone's on edge a little bit here. I think we all need some whiskey.
Yeah. Okay, so are we gonna continue with this little spooky train, or what's
I got a lot of spooky.
Yeah,
lots of good spook.
Well, I've already made the decision. We all kind of have deliberated and kind of come up with the idea of how to do the Back to the Future special. We're gonna have a whole hour-long episode, I think, based on the Back to the Future movies.
Yeah.
I just need to sit down and kind of figure out the logistics of actually recording that.
Big one.
And making it happen and making it quality, in my personal opinion.
Yes.
So that will be on the short list coming up very soon, because we need to start. First of all, I haven't watched any of them, so I need to watch all of them first and foremost. That's kind of the most important part. But in the meantime, do you want to do another spooky one? All right, coming up pretty soon. While we also get Back to the Future rocking and rolling.
When's the next? When are you guys off next? My next off day is Thursday.
I have no idea.
I'm off Thursday as well, I think.
Okay, well, if you're free Thursday, Sean, we gotta handle up on something.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, anyways, thank you guys for joining us and listening to our podcast. I really appreciate it. If you're looking for ways to find it, we have a link tree Ian Wolf. And you can find all of our social media links and also where you can find the podcast like on Spotify and on Apple Podcast, Google Podcasts, and all that good stuff. But until next week, don't look under your bed or in your closet.
Get him, Cletus.
Keep no one close. Do frequent blood
Get
tests.
him, Cletus.
Bye-bye. Do frequent blood tests.